everyone, this is Jane. I'm coming to you from Australia with a currently inked video. This is my first video, so bear with me because I'm pretty nervous. I'm just going to try and keep it quite simple today. These are the pens that I would like to use for the rest of this month. I actually have already gone through, I think it's 7 or 8 pens this month and fills in those pens, but these are the ones I'm going to ink up for the rest of this month. I like to record them in an endless notebook. That's my Emerald of Chicken sticker. That's from Goulet Pens. That's a famous, famous ink in the fountain pen community called Emerald of Chivor by J. Herbin. Anyway, that's a whole other story. Anyway, so this is my endless notebook that I like to record my fountain pens in. So I'm just going to do a little swatch for you today of each ink and then do a little writing sample beside them. So the first one is actually Diatramentis Jane Austen. It's a little sample from Goulet Pens. I've got it inked in my Kaweco Sport olive with a medium nib at the moment. It's a lovely ink. It's kind of a bit of a favourite in the fountain pen community as far as green inks go. I like it. It's a nice ink. I'm not sure if I'd call it one of my favourites though. So this is my Kaweco Sport in olive with a medium nib. Inked with Diatramentis Jane Austen. So it has a little bit of shading going on with it too, which is interesting. So that's going to be my first pen for the rest of this month. That's inked. My second one is this one. Now this is a pen from River City Pen Company in America. They're also on Instagram. I'm not sure, I cannot remember what the name of the blank is. I just call it my black, green and gold pen. It's got a number 6 nib on it. Hopefully you can see that. This is a beautiful pen to write with. My family actually gave me this for Christmas a couple of years ago. So I've got it inked with Diamine Sierra. This is one of my favourite inks, like my ready sort of burgundy inks. I really love it. So it's just the smaller bottle of the Diamine ink, Diamine Sierra. I'll do a writing sample with it. So this is the River City Pen Company black, green, gold. It's also a medium nib. It just writes beautifully. It's so smooth, and it's inked with Diamine Sierra. just love this ink. I've only got about half a bottle left of it. So that's that pen. Next one is going to be my pen, which I've had about for a couple of months now. It's from a company in Australia called Just Turnings, Bespoke pen maker. I'm inking it with my Diamine Oxford Blue. Now this is a nice blue ink. I wouldn't say it's anything sort of extraordinary. It's just a really good everyday blue ink. So this pen, I think, I can't remember who makes the blank, but whoever makes the blank calls it an oil slick blank, but the Just Turnings call it a rainbow. I got it in the matte finish, so it's so smooth and beautiful to hold. Matte rainbow. It also has a medium nib on it. As you can probably tell, medium nibs are my favourites to use for everyday writing. And it is inked with Diamine Oxford Blue. I find the Diamine inks really good value. They've never ever let me down. They suit a wide variety of pens, and they're pretty good as far as price is concerned. So the next pen and ink I'm using is my Hongdian Dark Forest Green. Now I bought this pen off Amazon. It's a relatively inexpensive pen, but I'm inking it with this Diamine Teal. Now this isn't my favourite of teal inks. It's a nice teal, don't get me wrong, but it's more of a muted sort of teal, I think. My favourite teal ink would have to be Monteverde Californian teal. That is just a gorgeous ink. So this is in, see the very small nib? I think this is like a number 5 nib on the Hongdian. So this is the Hongdian Dark Forest Green. It has a fine nib and it is inked with Diamine Teal. Now, for an inexpensive pen, this writes really well. I've had it in my collection for a little while and I use it quite a bit actually. So if you're looking for an inexpensive pen that writes well, these are pretty good. My next pen and ink combo is this. So this is a Pilot Metropolitan in Red Wave with a medium nib, and this is my Pilot Iroshizuku, and I cannot pronounce that without making a fool of myself, so I won't. This ink. And as far as inks go, these Pilot Iroshizuku inks are a little bit more expensive, but they are such good quality inks. They flow beautifully in just about every pen. They have sheening in them, a lot of them, like this one tends to have a bit of a gold sheen. Probably should have done that one first so you could see it dry, but anyway. So that's that one. Now, the Pilot Metropolitan, this is more of a sort of an Asian style pen, a Japanese pen, And you find with the Japanese nibs versus the European nibs, the Japanese nibs are a lot finer. So I find that this medium nib on this Pilot Metropolitan writes more like the Hongdian fine. So we'll do a writing sample. So this is Pilot Metropolitan Red Wave medium nib. I'm wondering if you guys can hear all the rain that's outside at the moment. We live about halfway up the Australian east coast, and we're having a bit of bad weather at the moment. And there's more bad weather to come apparently. Zuko. This is just so lovely. Anyway, so these are the ones that I am going to be using for the rest of this month. Yeah, I'm quite happy with those color choices too. I don't always match my pen with my ink color, but it's usually pretty close most of the time. So anyway, as I said, this is my first video. Hopefully it's turned out okay. Very new to this, so would really appreciate it if you could like it or subscribe. I'm hoping to sort of upload at least once a week, and my videos will be centered around fountain pens, inks, stationery. That's kind of my hobby and my passion. I've been using fountain pens now for about 6 years after being introduced to them by a friend in back in Texas in the USA. So she got me into it and led me down the rabbit hole. So anyway, thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Thank you. Bye.